Okay, here we go. I'm so excited. I have a magician in the Pathfinder, and the magician has a bunny. We'll see how long Hocus holds out. I love that Jay Chessar. Jay, say your last name for me so I say it
Chessar.
right. Chessar, right? Chessar.
Yeah.
Sounds like a country singer. Jay Chessar. Jason, but you go by Jay often,
Yes.
right? So tell me about. I always knew you spoke a little differently, but I didn't think anything of it. But there's a pretty powerful story there.
Well, thank you. Actually, I've won a national speaking title sharing this. See, for most of my life, the reason why you never knew about it, or most people didn't know about it, is I just never told anybody. It wasn't until probably about, I guess it's 2, maybe 3 years ago, I finally started sharing it. And the truth is, when I was about 4, they realized that I had a problem with my ears. It was a minor detail that, if missed, became a major issue. So luckily, in today's day and age, it's usually caught at birth. In my case, it wasn't, and it required numerous surgeries in order to correct my hearing so I could hear properly. But by the time they had done that, I was already 5, turning 6 years old by the time the surgeries happened. So I had already developed my own language, one my mother could barely understand. And so as a result of that, I had to spend the next 10, 11 years doing speech therapy at 5 Counties Children's Center in order just to rehabilitate my speech so I could speak English. And as you can imagine, social anxiety comes with that.
A massive cascade of effects would have come as a result of that. I want to back up a bit because I think for a lot of parents, there's like an alarm bell going off that you were misdiagnosed as deaf.
Actually, I was diagnosed as special. A little slower than the rest of the kids is how I was diagnosed, and they wrote it off as just being a little slower than the rest, when really it was a hearing impairment. So when you talked to me or you said something, I may have heard it but didn't react accordingly or wasn't catching on to what was being said, and I had trouble learning. I had a learning disability as a result of it.
So did you ever figure out what was actually going on? Did you have some kind of virus? Like, what was the actual thing?
Well, you being a parent, I'm sure you'll understand the fury of a mother's wrath when she knows there's something wrong and doctors are saying otherwise. So, needless to say, once I entered school, my mother just didn't drop it. It became a thing where she was taking me in regularly and fighting it and just saying, no, there is something more. I need you to figure it out. Quit telling me it's just that he's a little slower than the rest of the class. I know he's not. There's more to this. Find it. And then they found out what it is about, 4.5, almost 5 years old. And so if you think about in the understanding that I have, we all have wax build up in our ears. I have an extensive amount of wax build up, so it actually builds up and plugs my ears. The solution you've probably heard of is called tubes, a minor surgery where they put this little white foam disc-like thing in your ears and it prevents it.
Very common.
Yeah, extremely common. Well, I went 5 years without it and never should have. So that was the minor issue that became a big problem as a repercussion of the results.
What you hear as an accent is actually a speech impediment. What that means to you is when I was your age, I couldn't hear. Couldn't hear at all, couldn't speak either. I couldn't even speak English, and I got really scared. In this class, I would be hiding out that door. I used to get so scared I would run and hide. But I met this magician, and he said, it's okay, if you get a little nervous, that's okay. But if I could try, and I helped him, he could do some really cool magic.
And even though it is a tragedy, it is unfortunate, to be honest, I'm actually quite thankful for it. I know it sounds absurd, but we all have an experience. We all have a challenge. We all have a difficulty in our life, something that only you have ever faced. And in this case, this is what I faced. But as a result of it, I've become extremely observant, extremely aware. I've learned how to teach myself all through high school, all through elementary school. I was always behind in the curriculum. But I refused the help. I refused the special support that I was receiving, and just learned to teach myself and learn how to overcome my own disabilities and ask for help. Reach out to people and say, hey, I need a hand. Can you show me how to do that again? And so I gained an enormous amount of ability, skill, and support as a result of a challenge I faced. But I'm sure we can all relate with that one.
You are really inspirational, Jay. You really are, and you're wonderful with the children.
So imagine this, 6 years old, I've had the surgery done, extremely shy, extremely anxious, and it was my 6th birthday, and they invited a magician. His name was Peanut Butter the Magical Clown. Some of the older viewers here might actually remember that name. And he came to my birthday, and I got scared, and I wouldn't even come out at my own birthday. I was too shy. There was too many people there. I think there was 6 kids. And the magician comes up to me and he goes, "I want to make you float. I heard you love magic, and I want to make you float on a magic carpet, and or on a carpet or something like that." And I got up the confidence to do so. And so I got up in front of everybody and I did it. And I vaguely remember my mom crying. And obviously I don't know why. And it could be the stories I've been told over the years as well. But what I realized...
I bet you I know why she cried.
Oh, I bet you do.
Because you got up in front of those people.
And that's exactly it. So needless to say, every Christmas, every birthday, every magic trick out there, I got it. Video recordings, magic kits, books from the library, every chance they could, they supported it. And I didn't realize what they were doing. I was just playing with magic. But the therapist at 5 Counties, it was R's and S's. So I was always asked to say red card or 7 of spades. So we used the magic as a way to help build my speech development through the years as well. Built that all in.
I love that story so much because I feel like every child and every adult has their medicine. I call it a medicine. Something you find that fills your soul and your passion and diverts your attention from the problem and brings you to the solution.
Yeah.
And that's what magic did for you.
That is. Magic saved my life. Otherwise, I would have been a computer programmer sitting in the basement somewhere, would have just hid from the world. I spent most of my years hiding. Where the magic animal comes from is a pet shop. Now this isn't any ordinary pet shop. This is a very special pet shop. In fact, this was the pet shop that was given to me by the magician many years later. See, I went home and I practiced every day. I got that book from the library, and then I got another one and another one, and I practiced every day. Do you remember how to do it? Let's just be sure. Hold up a magic wand. We're going to count nice and loud. Ready?
1, 2, 3,
So how's your hearing?
My hearing, I got most of my hearing back. I had a number of surgeries done to my ears. I remember in grade 5, I remember I had, right when remember that movie Coneheads
I
came
do
out?
remember that movie.
You know, this adds to that whole confidence and social anxiety thing. When I was in grade 5, I had a surgery done to the back of my ears that required them cutting the back of my skull here on both sides of my ears. And I ended up wearing one of those cones in my class for 3 months during the exact same time that movie came out. Perfect timing.
That actually makes me kind of sad, Jay, to think about a little boy completely misunderstood, and you had your mom. She was at war for you.
Oh yeah, my parents gave me everything I have.
So, like, a lot of it, what I knew Jay for was sort of going and yes, we showed how he performed today with kids, and that's sort of something he does, but not. It's not really your full-time gig. You've built quite an impressive business, Jay.
Thank you.
So let's talk about what you do.
All right. So what do I really do? I spent many
Other than
years...
keep a bunny on your...
Yeah.
Do you want me to hang on to him? I would love
If you'd
to,
like to.
if he'll let me.
He might. He likes clothing. I'll warn you now. He
Okay.
does sometimes.
Hello, baby bunny.
Rabbits seem to like heights. They don't like being high, but they seem to be up into
You
heights.
got my necklace.
So magic is a vehicle I use to share my message, meet people, continue to face my fears, get up on stage, because I know getting on stage I can make a difference in people's lives. I know that, which is why I share my story as often as I do now. What I do behind the scenes is I have two professions. I run Uncommon Entertainers. It's a national agency that is a support organization for performers just like I was, or just like I am. What that means is we help performers who have been established and faced their fears and gone out and did what they had to do. We provide them administration and marketing support as well as personal and business development. And within 3 months last year, we have performed for Justin Bieber. They got us at the Dragon's Den premiere party.
Despacito.
The Dragon's Den, the premiere party. The fire performers met Lennox Lewis. And
Nice.
some pretty interesting video on that one. We can't share that one though. It's Trailer Park Boys. Bubbles, great guy. Great guy. Let's see, are you ready? Just like before, we're gonna cut the knots off. Where's that? There it is.
Need an assistant. I'm not doing
That'd be next.
I'm not doing a very good job.
That's okay, we'll find an assistant in just a moment. Most importantly right now, we just wanna make sure we're playing fair.
Is that rope cut?
Yeah.
One more. We got one last knot. How many knots do we have? Anybody see them? 3? Let's see here. What's your name? Bentley, can you do me a favor? Can you grab the rope? I'll show you what I did. Because, see, I got really scared. But Magician said if I helped him, I could come in and help him. And he handed me the rope, and I just gave it a pull. Give it a pull. One more time. Let me give Bentley a nice big round of applause.
TransCanada Nissan, proud sponsor of MF's Drive-Bys, where satisfied customers are our best salespeople.